Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing lash maps and just explaining how lash maps works for you guys, because I know a lot of people have trouble with them and I did when I first started lashing as well. Just a little disclaimer, if I sound like I have a lisp or I just sound really weird, it's because I have my Invisalign in. I recently got Invisalign. So ignore that. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. I actually recorded this video a while back, but I lost some of the footage and then it was just a headache. So I just decided, let me re-record it again. So we're going to start off with just our regular eye shape. So I'm just going to kind of make like our fake little gel pads on here. And I know I'm going to get questions. So to record this, I'm using my iPad Pro and the pencil, and then this app is called GoodNotes 5. I absolutely love this app, and I'll show you guys why. I'll give you like a quick little tip at the very end, so make sure you stay tuned for that, how you can use your iPad for lashing and for your clients. But anyways, let's just jump into the lash map. So here we're only gonna do one eye because it's gonna be exactly the same on both eyes, so there's really no point for me to do both eyes. But this is our inner corner and this is our outer corner. So typically when you have a client, depending on, okay, let me just break this down real quick first before I actually get into lash mapping. So you know how we have classic, hybrid, volume, mega volume, extreme volume, whatever. We have these categories. Within these categories, you can do any of the lash maps on any of the categories. You can do a lash map exactly how you would on a volume, but on a classic. You could do a lash map exactly how you do on a classic, but on a hybrid. So classic, hybrid, this doesn't matter in this case. We're only talking about lengths and how you're going to distribute them based on your client's eye. So first off, we're going to start out really easy, a cat eye. This is like really popular. People have been, wanting the lifted eye look for a while now. So we're going to think about how long does our client want their lashes to be? Do they want them to be a longer cat eye, or do they want their lashes to be like a shorter cat eye? So we need to understand first what the longest length we can use is. If they say they don't care, you can just do whatever you want. If you've been lashing for a while, or you have done sets already, then you're going to know what certain lengths look like. For example, I'm not going to go, let me do 20, or I'm not going to do 13. That's barely going to be anything. It's not really going to show. That's just in my personal opinion. Or I'm not going to say, outer corner, let me do a 23 millimeter. That's just crazy. So if they want a medium, kind of length, I'm going to show you the most popular length that people want when they ask for a cat eye, unless they specifically tell you they want it to be really short or really long. So what I used to do when I do cat eyes is, what I do is first I like to find the center of the eye. So this is where the pupil would be resting while their eyes are closed. This is the middle of their eyes. This is going to be the highest point when they open their eyes. So a mistake I would make usually is I would go like 11, 12, 13, 14, and then here it would be longer than the outer corner because this portion is the highest portion of the eye. So it's going to be long no matter what. So you always want to make sure that you do not place a long length there, because if you do, then it's just going to take away from the cat eye effect. So what we're going to want to do is, depending on how many lengths we want to use, but I would say depends on if they want subtle or if they want it more dramatic. If they want subtle, then you use less quadrants, and if they want more dramatic, then you use more quadrants. So by quadrants, I mean these little peaks that are going to go here. So if they want more subtle, then I would make this less peaks. I wouldn't do this many. I would make it less. And if they want more dramatic, then I would add more. So now that we have our peaks, we're going to go in and add our lengths. So let's say they wanted the longest length to be 16 millimeters. 15 millimeter as the longest length is the most popular. So let's say 16 millimeter. We're going to do 16 millimeter, and I'll do 16 millimeter here too. And then instead of going 15, because this is the highest point, I'll do 14. And so I'll go just a little bit shorter, and then I might do 12 here, 11 and 10. This is going to give you a really nice dramatic cat eye look. Okay, so that's our cat eyes, kind of, that's just the basics of it. Now, let's say your client wanted a more subtle cat eye, or they don't really know what they want and they have like protruding eye shape. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about eye shapes and what you should do for certain eye shapes, because that will take forever, and that is a part of my training. So if you're already a lash tech and you're kind of just want all of the secret tips and really master, then I definitely recommend you take the Volume Artistry online course, because in this course I break down how to lash every single eye shape and every single lash, and how to do all of these crazy styles that people want now. So if they wanted it to be a more subtle eye shape, a more subtle cat eye, then I would do something a little bit different, and I would go maybe 1, 2, 3. And then I'll add 1 here. And if they wanted it to be more subtle, but let's say this person wanted about, around the same lengths, I'll do 11, 12, and then here I'll do 14, 15, 16. So this one's going to be a lot more subtle and less dramatic than the other one. But this is kind of our cat eye lash map. Okay, I really don't want this video to be too long, so yeah. Also, if you hear any noises in the back, there's like a rainstorm happening right now, so ignore that. So jumping into our second eye shape, our second lash map, which is just going to be a doll eye. Now, doll eye for me personally has been the most requested and the most popular, and you can still get you can still get the cat eye effect from a doll eye, and I'll show you how I like to do it. So let's say this client, so this is their inner and this is their outer corner. Let's say they wanted, I'm trying to think of what would somebody want. Okay, so let's say they wanted their longest length to be 14 millimeters, nothing longer than that, and they want a doll eye. So with the cat eye, we had our longest lengths towards the outer corner of the eye. This is where our longest length should go. Okay, let me just write that. So this is where our longest length is going. On the doll eye, our longest length is going to be not in the middle, not in the outer, and not in the inner, but it's actually going to be between the middle and the outer part of the eye. So it's going to be just about here. This is where our longest length is going to go, right here. And then this is the center of their eye. This is where their pupil is resting while their eyes are closed. Okay, so then when we're mapping this, if they want their longest length to go here for a doll eye, then we might do something like this. And as I said, this goes, the things that I'm saying, the general things that I'm saying apply to every lash map. So the more quadrants you have, the more dramatic it's going to be and the more of an effect it's going to give. And the less quadrants, as in these little lines here, then if you put less of these, then it's going to be more subtle. And if you put more, then it's going to be more dramatic. So just keep that in mind. That works for every lash tech. Can you tell I'm tired? That works for every lash map, okay? So let's say they want, I said 14 millimeter as their longest length. So we're going to go ahead and place that right there. Now, how can we work around that and kind of still give it a doll eye? So we know that it needs to get shorter towards the inner corner and then shorter towards the outer corner. So what I'll do is a 12 here, because I feel like if I did a 13, it won't really make a difference. So we're going to do a 12. And then here, instead of a 13, I'm actually going to go down to 12 right in the center here. And the reason I'm choosing 12 is because if I did 13, it's not going to make an effect. I might even go down to 11, but then again, I don't know. It might look horrible when they open their eyes. So I'll play it safe and I'll do a 12 millimeter. The reason I'm going with a 12 millimeter right here is because, as I said, this is the highest point of their eye. Therefore, when they open their eye, this is going to get lost and it's no longer going to be the longest. So you always want to go shorter. Then I'm going to do 11, 10. If you didn't want to go all the way down to 10, you can make all of this 11. But this adds to the effect of the open eye. So this is our doll eye. Always get those two mixed up. So that is our doll eye. And then this is our longest length right here. All right. Now we're going to be moving on to open eye. So for an open eye, let me just draw my little eyelid. For an open eye, this is our inner and this is our outer corner. For an open eye, the longest length is right smack in the middle. And you don't need to go too long because, again, as I said, this is the highest point of the eye. No matter what eye shape you have, when you open your eye, the middle of your eye is always the highest point. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to go too long because even if you do all the same length, it's going to give you an open eye effect because naturally the eyes go short. The eyes go like from, down and then they go up and then they go back down. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You don't want to go too long. So then let's go ahead and add our quadrants and let's say same thing. They want a 14 millimeter open eye. So we're going to keep in mind, actually, I'm going to make more quadrants so that it gives it more of an effect. And for quadrants, guys, like a lot of people think I like sit here and measure stuff out. It's not that serious, honestly. Just look at where the middle of their eye is and then based off that, just make lines. And if you want to add another quadrant, you can add another quadrant. You don't have to take it off. And if you make a mistake with your marker or something like that, it's not that serious. And, you don't always have to write everything down. Even if you just keep it in your head, like, you got it, So let's say they want their longest length to be 14 millimeters. Also keep in mind, let's say they want 14 millimeters, like right here, but like their eyebrows sit super low on their eyes, then I wouldn't recommend it because their lashes right smack in the middle are gonna like be the longest right here and it's gonna hit their eye, because in reality, this is gonna be way longer than a 14 millimeter because again, this is the highest point of the eye. Okay, but let's say they do want a 14 millimeter. We're gonna do 13, 12, 11. And then we're going to want to mirror it exactly on the other side. 13, 12, 11. So, as you can see, the highest point of the longest length is right in the middle here. And we're going from short to long to short. So, a lot of times also, if you see on social media, when they like put in their caption like lash map, or even for my posts on Instagram, I'll put like lash map and then you'll see me do this. I'll do like 11 to 14 to 12. And people are like, what? What does that mean? Because usually they'll just say 11 to 14. What this means is I did this. 11. Oh, that does not look like an 11. What that means is I did this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 13, 12. This is what this means, okay? That's that. So if you ever see people type that, that's what they mean. It's usually used for doll eyes or open eyes. But if we're just talking about a cat eye, then I would just say like 11 to 15, whatever, So just keep that in mind. If you ever see it in captions, that's what they mean. Or that's what I mean anyways. I don't know about other people, but... So this is our open eye. My handwriting is so bad. Open eye, and this is our longest length right here in the middle. And you're going to want to mirror it exactly on both sides of the eye. So those are the basic eye styles: doll eye, open eye, cat eye. And then you also have your wispy. I'm not going to go too in depth on the type of wispy because there's strip lash, there's subtle wispy. There's so many types of wispy lashes, which again, I do go over and cover in the training. So if you're interested in that, then you can DM me on Instagram or you can hit the link on my website, and you can go in and send me an email through the website. Anyways, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to give you a quick little rundown of a strip lash. Sorry, not a strip lash, but a wispy look. So a wispy look, you can do a wispy look with any of these. So you can do a wispy cat eye, you could do a wispy doll eye, and you can do a wispy open eye. Okay, so don't think that this has to be its own lash map, because it doesn't. I can go in any one of these. And I can add wisps to it. Any one of these I can add wisps to. So just keep that in mind. It's not like its own thing. You add wisps to literally any set, any style, any length, anything, okay? So let's say they want a wispy open eye. Okay, so let's say they want their longest length to be 13, and then they want it to be wispy. So what I would do, they also want it to be a doll eye. So what I would do in this case is so since it's a doll eye, we're not putting the longest length right smack in the middle. We're not putting it in the end. We're putting it right in between. So we're going to do 13 right here. We're going to do 12 and 11. And then we're going to go 12, 11, 10. And then they also want wispy. So we're going to go ahead with our wisps. And for wisps, I recommend that you add 2 to 3 wisps in each quadrant to really, make them pop. And you also should go 2 to 3 lengths longer. I actually recommend 3 lengths more than 2. When you're placing your wisps, you want to place them on the top layer of the lashes. However, if you do not do so, you're still able to place them at the very end, but just make sure that you're using a long enough lash so that you can see it and it's actually noticeable. 15 would be in this quadrant, 15 millimeters for spikes. But then if I put a 15 millimeter spike right here, and these are all 13s, it's not going to show. My 15 millimeter, if I don't place that on the top layer of the lashes and I place it on the bottom layer of the lashes, you're not going to see that. The 15 is going to get lost. So you either want to go longer in that case, or you just want to place them on the top lashes to begin with. Anyways, so we said 2 to 3 millimeters longer than the base length, which is these lengths right here. These are called the base lengths. And then these are our spike lengths. So in the 12th quadrant, we're going to go 12, 13, 14. So this is 14. And then in the 11, 11, 12, 13. And then here it's going to be 14. And then here it's going to be 13. And then here it's going to be 12. So 2 to 3. You can even do more. You can do 16 here. You can do 15 here. You can do 14 here, whatever. Right? So that's how you do the wispy kind of look. That's a quick breakdown into it. And you can add it into any of your, you can add wisps to any look. So don't think that, it's kind of only for this eye shape or only for this lash map. You can make any one of these and add wisps to it. All right. So let me just write that down. Maybe you guys can take a screenshot of this if it helped you. But also the lengths that I'm mentioning here, like the lengths that are in the blue, those are interchangeable. So what I'm showing you in this is that these lengths, it's just the principle. Do you know what I mean? So if I went one length longer, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, this is just the principle of it, but you can apply any length to this. So we can go ahead and change it into any length we want. Let's say our client wants them longer than this. Change these lengths and make them longer. You know what I mean? And then here you would even have that's a 15, sorry. I would even do 17, and then I'd do 17 or 18 on the very end. So do you see what I mean? You can play with it and you can change it up however you want. It doesn't have to be the lengths that I'm mentioning. And then I'll show you for this doll eye. We can make this doll eye longer if our clients wanted it to be longer. We can do longer. let's get rid of these and we can make it longer. Let's say she wants longer. We'll do 12, 13, 14, 15, or we can even do 16 actually. And then on the very outer corner, we'll do 14. You see, they're interchangeable, but it's just the principle. I always skip the lengths. Skip the lengths. It is just the principle and on where I skip lengths. So just keep that in mind. Like right here, I skip the length. 14 to 16, and then here I skipped a length because, as I said, this part of the eye is always going to be the longest. It's going to appear to be the longest because that is the highest point of the eye. So that was just a quick breakdown of lash mapping. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them in the comment section because I reply to all of the questions that you guys have. Don't go to like my Instagram and DM me because I have so many DMs. I'll probably never see it. So if you want me to actually, like, you have a question or you want me to answer you really quickly, then make sure to comment in this comment section down below because I have my notifications on and I'm always answering your messages. So you guys can take a screenshot of this if it helped. I don't know. Or you can save this video for later. But yeah, it's kind of just the principle, just practice, take your time with it. Like, honestly, I know it's kind of hard to get your head around it, but once you understand all these numbers and like how they're working, you will be lash mapping with your eyes closed in no time. Okay. So don't stress about it too much. But with that being said, I want to actually talk about this app. So I'm using Good Notes 5. And sorry if I'm screaming. I feel like I'm screaming. So with this Good Notes app, but you have this app, it's called Good Notes 5. If you have an iPad, I definitely recommend that you get this app because you can have all these like folders. And I have this lashes folder. So it's where I have like my accounting stuff, my client forms, some ideas, and some of my suppliers information and like all of that stuff. And then I just have like untitled notebooks. So with this, what you can do is you can use it to your advantage is, so I have this folder called client forms. So I got this idea from Jessica. I forgot what her YouTube is, but she's like a lash artist YouTuber as well. So shout out to Jessica if you guys know her. I don't know her like name on the YouTube, but anyways, she actually did a video on this like I think it was like really long time ago. But yeah, so she put me onto this idea and that's ever since I've been starting to use it. So in this folder, what I basically have is a notebook for each of my clients. I haven't been keeping up with this, to be honest with you guys, because I need to update the form. I feel like the form that I have has so much information on it that it like just takes up so much time. So I definitely need to like figure out a better way to do that. But basically, I have a notebook for each of my clients. So when they come, or if they're a new client, then I'll make them a new notebook. So I'll show you my client Sharissa. So this is her thing, and I don't know why, but I used to add like a picture of them, which is like kind of weird now that I think about it. So I'm not going to show you guys the form just because it has her information, a lot of her information on there. So I don't want to show you guys that, but basically I keep track of the lengths and the exact lash map that I did. And the bottom right here is actually bottom lashes that we did on her. The date, this was like the very first one, so it's really old. I write what we did. I write if I did spikes or not, and I write if I did a lash bath before or if I used my humidifier. And the reason that I write this, I actually need to get back into doing this, but the reason why I write this is because as lash techs, we see so many people, we're not going to remember exactly what we did in your appointment, so that when you come in for your fill, we might actually forget what we did. And then not only that, we're not going to remember if we had our humidifier running or if we primed your lashes or if we didn't, all of that stuff. So I like to keep this jotted down so that I know what I did and what I didn't do, so that if, let's say, I don't know, a week from now I get a message from her and she's like, girl, my lashes are falling off, and I'm like, what do you mean? Then I can look back at this and I'm like, girl, I didn't wash her lashes before and I didn't use a humidifier, so maybe that's why. It is my fault. So then I'm like, okay, I can understand that. So this is just kind of a good way to keep track of like the things that you're doing. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like if you have an iPad lying around, just get any like pencil for it and just get this app and you can do it. I'm pretty sure you can do it on your phone too. But with the pencil, it's really cool because they can actually fill out the form with the iPad and the pencil. So that's kind of a plus. But yeah, that was just kind of that. And that's all for the video, honestly. I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, thank you so much to everybody that's been supporting me, liking, commenting, subscribing. Like, it means the world to me. And I hope that you guys have a great night. Thank you for watching. Bye.